Dream. Um, y'all, um, I hope everyone's day is starting off well on this Sunday night so far, and hopefully everyone's day was good on this Sunday today. My day was, it was definitely pretty good, but it was also pretty exhausting too, and all the things. But all I did today was I went to church this morning, and that went well. And then I came home relaxed. I called my best friend from the hospital and from just kind of just check in a couple of times and see how she's doing. And so her and I've been able to talk at least for a good little bit of today. She did call me like 2 hours ago, but by the time I noticed, it was like it was because I fell asleep. Probably seven something or almost eight, and didn't realize it until probably I probably didn't realize it right away until then I woke up and then but she sent me a voicemail letting me know of her calling, but also at the time I wish I could have called her back just by now, but um yeah, I wish I could have just gotten a hold of her back, but like the phones for the hospital where she's at close off at 10, aka 10 p.m. um my time, so aka an hour ago. So I can't really call back and say, hey, I'm just now noticing you called me, all the things. And so I'll have to wait till tomorrow to call her and see how she's doing. About to let her know, hey, the reason why I couldn't call you back was because I fell asleep out of nowhere. But I mean, I can't blame myself though, honestly, because I mean, Sundays can really tire you out, like they can, and all the things. But anyway, if anybody's new on this channel, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber who's been here before, welcome back. Please be sure you guys are liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell down below. So that way if you are new and you want to keep checking out the channel, you can get updates, but also for everyone in general, you can get all the latest updates on here, such as videos, live streams, and more by yours truly. And yeah. Hey there, Jose, I could see you're new. How you doing? Um, Purification, I see you're new too. How are you doing? Let's go. Yeah, we have 4 people on the live. That is awesome at the moment. But and let me remember that just a little bit. Let's go, y'all. 7 people in the chat. How are you guys doing? That's good to hear that you're doing well. Yeah, I'm doing good too. Just, just relaxing and just trying to stay up at the moment because I mean, you know, that's just what I do. But actually I do need to get up for a second. So hang on, y'all. Hang on, let me grab well, I do need to actually grab my meds. Take my first round, so give me a second, y'all. Um get them all laid out. They get Jack it's freezing in here. And yes, for those of you that are on here that don't know me that well, I have epilepsy, and so I have to be on um anti-seizure meds to control my seizure activity. Yeah. And yeah, and yeah, this is all for those of you that are new to me on here. But when I was a baby, I was dying. Like, so I think I forgot the exact age of my baby years, but sometime in that time frame, I got diagnosed with epilepsy at, I want to say, a couple months old. I think is how old I was. Um, and for any of you that never heard the term, or if you're new to that word itself, it's a medical condition where the electrical waves in your brain don't cooperate that well. So think about if you're trying to fix electrical wiring in like the light in a light switch or in um anything in here base, like you're trying to get, like you're trying to fix maybe an outlet, for example, and you're trying to connect all the things that it's supposed to in order for it to work properly, right? But also a light switch does the same too, because but also when you're fixing any kind of thing that has to do with wire, you're trying to make sure you're connecting it to the right, that you mentioned the right wire to where it's supposed to go. All that. So it's kind of like that, but in the brain instead. But instead, let's say you do those steps correctly, but a malfunction happens in the brain. And so for me, in my case, if it if you're doing all the steps correctly and it just and the way your brain tries to process that electric that the electric in the brain, it will not. It'll just start to bust without knowing it and causing me to have seizures. And y'all, ooh, I will say, with people with my condition, it's one of those where um, but I do have like rescue meds that I do have. So if I do, and if I were to go into a seizure that is within a certain time frame, not like directly right away, but like within a 5 minute window, at least 5 minutes or longer is when I will have to use them, but not right away. But but let me say, but then also at one point in my life when I was almost 2 years old, so actually, and I'm able to finally now take as like full info now since I finally now know the exact month and date it was on now because I relearned this not that long ago. So September 4th, 2007, aka I was still 1, but I was a month before I was 2. I had to have intense brain surgery to remove I mean most of the right side of my brain. So aka I only have half a brain in order to um control my seizures because they were getting so chaotic and they were just out of hand when I was a kid, when I was a lot younger. And the only way that we could manage it from it being not as bad in the future, but also make it to where I can live the rest of my life, but also um you can manage it the best you can was by doing that. So this way I had a chance at living, but also it would give me a second chance at living what everyone wants to hope and lives for. And out and then after the surgery I remembered that doctors literally said that I might have not been I might be able not be able to walk, talk, speak, do all the things that people my age are doing, but y'all, I proved those doctors wrong huge time because 20.5 years later, I'm walking, I'm standing, I'm doing most accomplishments people my age are doing, and just living it, you know? But that's what God does right there. Um, God will literally will tell you, but also will tell everyone around you that, dude, it's basically it's kind of like saying we'll try to get you, but not really, because in the Lord, we all believe in miracles, which we all believe that a miracle will happen somehow, and that's what happened there. Let me look through the chat there too, because I do. Because y'all, I will say this: if I'm not looking at the chat right away, I mean I do multitask the chat a lot. It's like because I'm still finishing up my sentence and all that, but it will be like probably every minute or two I will be looking in my chat to just to make sure just to see if any new comments have popped up. So I'm not like half of everyone else that just keeps talking through the entire time and not responding to y'all. So hang on, let me actually look through my chat real quick while I'm saying that. Okay, right here. Hey there, Amy. I see you're new. How are you doing? Let's see. Brando, I see you're new too. Hey, what's the stream about? Oh, we're just hanging out. It's just to hang out live, y'all. We can y'all just come on by and just say hey and just chat. It's kind of like just a little, just, it's a good fun time just to hang out and all that. Nothing too crazy. Um, okay. Morris, I see you're new too. So what? Anyway, I was looking at the chat, but, okay, now let me get my, sorry, let me just grab my jacket real quick. So I'm just gonna put you guys right here for just a second. So, for those of you who are just coming in here, please be sure you guys are hitting the like button up in the corner, and you guys are liking and subscribing and hitting the notification bell so you won't miss any updates from me. So if you want to continue coming on to here, but also if you want to continue to support, you're more than welcome to. So I'm just getting my jacket too. So that's literally why I am literally having you guys pop in um my little organizer, my little pen organizer. Yo, I like Paul. Like, yo, this is actually I will show you it too. Yeah, it's freezing in here, but I'm not turning the fan off because it's just a big waste right now. And I mean, yo, it's just what you gotta do. But okay, sorry about that. My jacket was freezing. Anyway, yeah. Right now we're just hanging out though, y'all. So if you guys are new to the channel, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber or mod, welcome back. But yeah. So anyway, yeah, it's pretty crazy. So um yeah, and also feel free to ask questions. I need to actually oh no I didn't. What was I thinking I didn't? See? Y'all. It's just because your adult brain can do all crazy things, especially at a young age. And all the things. And so, um, yeah, but I will say this for those of you who are new, to kind of give you guys a little rundown of the chat really quickly. Um, please be sure when you are saying stuff in the chat, be sure you guys are being age appropriate. about it. Like, I'm not saying anyone's starting stuff. I'm just saying I'd to be someone who addresses it early enough where hopefully we don't have a chance of it happening, but also, it's good just to play safe and just say it anyway, so it's helpful. So if anyone does come in here while I'm saying it, it's helpful to them as well. Um, so just a couple things I will say is for my minute in the chat, please be sure you guys aren't flirting with me. It's been a while since that's happened to me because I am taken. Second of all, please be respectful to not just myself, but to everyone else in this chat because you don't know what anyone in this chat is going through. You don't know because I don't put myself first, y'all. I don't put me first on here. I put both of us first because I mean, hey, we put all of us first. Like I literally have y'all first and me next because especially you guys mainly out of Mount Self, which I mean I put me second, but y'all are like my top priority when it comes to just anything. Because, y'all, for us content creators, we want to be sure that y'all have a great time. And I don't want to do stuff that I feel like I'm having to make crazy decisions going, okay, do I feel like I need to keep doing what I'm doing? Or do I feel like I need to address something right away, without noticing? Because, I don't want to be somebody who just feels like, okay, I'm going to stop doing this after a while because of something I encountered on here recently. I don't want to be someone who just does that without the gut in me. But um yeah, and then also y'all, if you guys are new, feel free to say hey in the chat because it does a lot more than just you know. And also y'all, there's no forcement whatsoever of doing all things. It's totally fine too, because you can think about it, but that's also why you give it a good bit to really tell if you would continue or not. And then also just a couple other things too. Um, what else would I put? Yeah, like I said, at age appropriate. When I say that, I mean just be respectful. No name calling, no anything that's stupidity based. Because y'all, there's already chaos in the world as it is, and we don't need to add more to that. Because I mean, half of us adults in this chat can agree with that. Because y'all, for the 20 years I've lived on this earth, there's already a lot of people doing a whole lot worse than saying hateful things that shouldn't be said. And no one deserves to even hear somebody call them at things that aren't true to them or just having to encounter something that shouldn't have to be encountered, you know? Like, yo, I'm 20 years old and I shouldn't have to see or even hear somebody being disrespectful to another person or even in my life. Like, I don't want to have to see someone being crazy in the comment section for no reason, you know? It's like if you're talking to a 4-year-old, you know, but not really. And so, let me also pay attention to my chat too while I'm doing all this. So, what's been happening since I. Hey there, Sophia, how are you doing? Um, hey there, I cannot read the language, but hello. Yeah. Why is that going crazy? Hey there. I'm doing good. How about you? Hopefully you're doing well. Let's see. Gymnast, I see you're in the chat. I can tell you're new. Welcome. All right. How have you ever Okay, that question is probably that's probably the dumbest question I'm getting, but I'm gonna move past all the and this also brings me to a good point too. While we're looking at that, please be sure you guys aren't asking age appropriate stuff, not flipping the script like that, because like I said, once again, the safety from not just me, but others on here too. You don't know what someone's went through. And it's not really cool to just say or really ask stuff that's just not okay to be asked in the first place. That can be a thought in your head, in my own opinion, but I don't believe in hate. I really don't, y'all. I really don't believe in hate that people just put out there. So y'all can, y'all, questions for example, y'all can ask stuff from like the lines of like, how old are you to what's your favorite color? Stuff like that. Like anything in those lines is fine. But if it's things that are just completely stupid or sounds like, okay, it sounds like a waste of time kind of thing, then okay, don't. But I'm just saying, I'm just right now addressing that while it's still early. And so, and actually, yeah, there was a point. There was a point for a little while in my lives that um I have had a lot of crazy disrespectful comments come through, but I wasn't the one to get, even though I wasn't really super offended. Like most people would just get offended for no reason and just shut themselves down from it. I just act like, okay, just a comment that does not define this channel, doesn't define me. I'll keep going because I still have some pretty nice people in my lives that come in here and actually know what they're doing. And also that's why I also do have mods who do come in here, but you know, I don't always, because the thing is, I don't want to have to be someone who blocks somebody on here just for being hateful, because I don't, like, my channel, y'all, is a no hate zone in my chat whatsoever. Like, I'm literally a negativity free zone on my, meaning if you're gonna start being negative, like saying rude stuff to my viewers, or um you're trying to say something disrespectful about me, or you're trying to be rude towards me in a way that shouldn't be even told, then you will get blocked for good, because I don't like when people are just disrespectful. I really don't, y'all. I really don't like when people just disrespect stuff. And y'all, and also, y'all, in my opinion, it also is ridiculous if it were to be an adult saying it to an adult. That just does not make sense, y'all. Cause y'all, I'm only 20 years old. I'm I'm only in like my first year of like full adulthood, but basically like my third year of adulthood itself, but not by law, but fully adult, not just by law the first couple years. And so, um, yeah, but gosh, but yeah, so that's just what I'm saying right now. I'm just gonna clear that out too for anyone who also comes in here and starts just doing it at me, which, let's just not try to do it. Ugh, this movie's making me crazy. But I'll kind of wait until this light kind of goes down just a bit to trim it down. But yeah, so anyway, Y'all, let's go. 7 people like the live. Let's keep those likes coming. If you haven't, if anyone, the heck? Sorry, I'm hearing things in my head. If anyone hasn't done, all the things below, aka likes, if anyone hasn't liked, subscribed, or hit the notification bell at some point, feel free to. I don't push people just to do it, y'all. My channel is not just a y'all. On my page, it's not just a YouTube channel page, y'all. We all be putting it on there. Mine is a community because y'all, our channel is a community on here, meaning we all come together to form, but to also just bring out the good in others when life has kind of shown it otherwise, you know? Um, hey there. But let's go. We got 11 people in the chat. Um, but yeah, just for real, you guys. I'm just gonna say that like that. Anyway, what was I even saying for all this? Oh well. Oh gosh. But yeah. So, and also for those of you who are new, I will say a little bit about me really quickly. Um, my name is Sunset Queen on this channel. I am 20 years old. I am let's see. Yeah, I'm 20 years old. I'm 5'3" for those who want to height. AKA shorty. But I really call myself a mid-shorty though, y'all, because 5'3" with people, it's not like you're not too short, but you're not too tall either. So it's kind of a in the middle scale. Um, anyway, moving on. What else I know? I'm a Libra for those that want to know zodiac as well. My birthday's October 1st, and I'll be 21 this year, which, y'all, I can't, I, I honestly can't believe that. Even though I literally said to myself that 20 was already terrifying as it was. I mean, all of us who were 20 before, y'all get me. But then when you turn 21, it's like, oh my gosh. It feels wild. It feels like probably the craziest thing ever, but in like the best way too. Um, and then let me think. I have been doing this channel for at least a good couple years, but there was a point in my senior year that I took a break for a good while because of school. And y'all, we all know how school can get at times. It gets busy and all that, which is totally fine because, you're learning, but you're just learning to get through the last half of the year. And so, anyway, Caesar, I can see you're new, so welcome. How are you doing? Um, and all the things as well. And like I stated, and then one of the other facts about me that I did state in the beginning was, but I will say it fully because we're getting others that are just coming in here. I am a 20-year epileptic. So I've had epilepsy ever since I was a baby. And y'all, I am just a living miracle who is standing firm in myself, and I am I'm literally standing today because there was a time, because I said it earlier to a few people earlier, but I had to at one point have major intense brain surgery just to save my life because of how crazy my seizures were getting and all that, and the only options we could do about it was to do a 10, I think it was a 10 to I think it was a 10 or 11-hour surgery was the amount of time it was, which is crazy to think about. Um, just to save my life. And doctors uh, doctors did say there could be a chance I might have not been able to walk, talk, do all the things that you think of, skip, jump, anything that or really any other stuff besides actions like getting a job, living my own, um, dating somebody, all the things you can think of. Um, but y'all, 20 years later, look at me now. I graduated high school almost 2 years ago. Just crazy to think about. Yes, I said almost 2 years ago because the 17th of next month it'll be officially 2 years. I can't think that. Like that's wild. Um, and then also I'm 20 now. I'm almost 21. I have, you know, I have stand in the name of the Lord and just through it all because even I couldn't have done a lot of what I've done without God by my side through it all. Honestly, y'all, like I said, stories like that, especially really for me, like I couldn't have done what I did without God by my side through it all, and even through all my years too. Since then, um, and right now, I mean, right now at times I do get medication side effects issues, which is where I get extreme dizzy spells, but they're not like really urgent right now where I feel like I could be too concerned. But um I also do get massive not like migraines, but just headaches just from the meds. But all that matters though, y'all, is the meds work. They keep my seizures straight up. Like I mean straight up. Almost as if they're erased in my brain. That's the best way to describe it. Is because the last time I ever had a seizure was when I was a sophomore in high school. So literally for me that was I want to say I think late thinking I think late 22. I think it was late 2022 when I had that last, which is crazy. Yeah, I think it was late 2022 timeline because that's when I was a sophomore. Well, yeah. Yeah, it was probably yeah, it was like late 24. 22 to 23. Yeah, so yeah, it was like late 2022 when I was like, because like I said, I was a sophomore, but it was like second semester, I think, at that time. And luckily, praise God, I didn't have to. At one point, I did hear that they almost that the school nurse almost had to use my diet stat, which is a rescue med I had, but I also have nasal drops too now for all this too. For cases that also, like if I were to have a seizure that's either five, that just means y'all, if I were to have a seizure that was like 5 minutes or longer, or if I were to have like a second seizure, then um what you basically kind of what you would do with a diet stat at first. Um okay, let's just say how that worked. But this is when I'm out though, y'all. This is not like if I was awake though and it happens. Um, is let's say if it did have to get used at any situation that it was that 5 minute past mark. Now I mean it has to be directly 5 minutes, but the thing is the only times you would use it is if I had a seizure that was like 5 minutes or longer than that. So an example, let's say I probably had a seizure maybe up to 7 minutes. That's when you would have to use it in order to help speed the process up. And let's just say how that worked. You had to go down there at first. But y'all, it's one of those crazy weird things. But now, thankfully, my neurologist told me that there's also a nasal spray that does the same thing but up here, which, whew, yeah, praise the Lord that my neurologist said that because, y'all, if I think this throughly, imagine this. Um, literally imagine this, y'all. Let's say I'm working one day. I'm still trying to get a job, y'all. Don't. That's because I'm getting help for all of it, too. Um, hey there. I can tell you. I think you're new. Volty, that's a cool name. How you doing? What was it before I saw that? Um, yeah, because the best part with the nasal spray, y'all, is they only have to go up Meadows and not anywhere down here. Which is, y'all, let me say this. You don't, the best part about it is I don't have to take half of my pants down. No, I mean, not, they don't, anyone doesn't have to worry about stripping me half down and other people just seeing what's going on, you know? And even that now just makes me feel so good knowing that there's also other ways you can also administer these without it being awkward. Even though you don't know what's going because you're out of it though, but still, you know, it's almost like if you were to get PTSD just from your own from back then, you know. It's just and plus I'd rather be comfortable than be just let's say someone tries to bring that up at me. It'd be like, oh, did you realize that you were half stripped down during that? Say like that, for example. You know, but instead of and even y'all that and y'all and I will say even using the nasal spray is also really good so if I was in public and I had a seizure, it will feel a lot more safer knowing that if it did had to get used at any moment, it would be used in a lot more safer, managed way where I'm not feeling like, yeah, it doesn't feel awkward. Even though I don't know what's going on, but still, it doesn't feel awkward to even anyone else that is helping out with the situation too. Because, you know, who, first off, who who wants to feel who wants to feel that awkwardity during a time like that? Not me. Not me. Even though when I was a kid, it had to happen a lot, but little me doesn't remember all that now because it was years ago. And like I said, praise God that literally I haven't had a seizure to where that had to get administered right away. Which is, like I said, we praise God about that. For real. Because, we should never hope to ever be in that situation. Um, anyway. Yeah, exactly. Because, because like I said, no, I'm stand up for a second. No, gosh. Um, because literally, who wants to feel awkward like that? Not me. Nuh-uh. Because, y'all, I'm 20 years old. And if I ever were to have a seizure ever in the future, and I was out, you know, I never want there to be a time where I'm having to get called out by somebody being like, hey, did you know you just did this in the middle of the aisle? No. Yeah. It's good to save yourself now from all that until, we'll say there's a time that could happen. But like I said, you never know. Um, Volta, to answer your question here, I'm taken. And I said I'll read say this again because people are just now coming back in. But for my men in the comment section, I am taken, so do not try to come for me and all that. But also, let's not be inappropriate for those of you that are trying to act like it. No, you. Sorry, dropped my own phone halfway, but I caught it, so caught it just in time. I mean, I do hate when that happens, so, but that's why I'm pretty good at catching all that. So, um, but yeah, I'm taken. happily taken for 2 years now, which is amazing. Like, I'm thankful at this point. And I was just curious. Oh, okay. Okay, thank God. Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I'm not pointing out you were the victim or anything. Just, I mean, there's people that have, let me just say this. There have been jerks that have used that question, and I'm like, okay, what? Because, in my head, who in their own mind would ask? Like, in, I feel like in a jerk's mind, I don't know why a jerk would ask it. I'm not saying you were, like I said, thank you for letting me know that you didn't physically try to come towards me with it. Thank you for letting me know, because that definitely helps me out and all that. Because I'm not trying to get crazy with those. Yeah. So trust me, there's been a lot worse with people asking that almost exact question, and I feel like it's just utter jerks just being jerkheads, which that's dumb. But like I said, I don't even accept people who just act like a total fool, but I know you aren't fully doing it on me. And so, um, yeah, and I don't, and let me say this, I'm not, I mean, okay, yes, I mean, we all would be people that would feel offended, but I'm not like for me on live and all that, I don't like, you know, get the offended to where it makes me crazy for days or anything. Or I'm like, okay, why did this person even ask that? Kind of thing. I'm like, okay, someone just said that, and I just act like nothing happened. Usually, when someone I don't says something that's completely not okay, I'm like, okay, I'm moving on. I'm gonna act like someone else was just asking me a different question that is not this category. And that's one thing with adulthood you can do too is there's some people that can just they don't know how to say things the right way, but also the only thing you can do about it is act like it's not there. Act like you didn't just read what you had to read, you know? That's just what I'm stating right there. Oh, I'll just take bud. Oh, sorry. I just make me crazy. Anyway, let's see, what haven't I read yet? Um, yeah, some people can be like that. Yep, exactly. Yeah, yeah, and let me say this. And I will say this. I am someone who doesn't mess around. Like, I don't mess around with trolls. Like, if a troll does come in this dang chat and start something with me, there's a complete different side of me that will come out. But also, if someone gets to the point in this chat where I'm about to hit my last nerve, oh, uh-uh. Again, no one does not need to see that. Like, I think there was one time I think I was almost at that point, but it's just typical chaos. Long time ago. But like I said, people can do that at any dang point. And even like you don't have to be just an adult. Like you can be any age and encounter it anyway and all that. Like I'm 20 years old and I can literally like when I see someone just saying something that's not really okay thing to say much up, but also if you're just being a complete jerk about it, that person is the complete stupid, like complete idiot. Because look, they just because honestly, trolls make themselves look like the victim in front of like hundreds of people in the chat half the time, and they don't realize what they're doing is they're making a big fool of themselves in front of a crowd, like on here. Like, they don't realize that more people just saw what they said than what you read, because others read what the chat says too. And so even that's why I said just that's why I even like that's why, for example, with questions, that's why I literally say ask things that are age appropriate, meaning don't go flipping it and asking something stupid that could, or just don't try to ask things that might sound inappropriate that I'm not comfortable, or just don't try to ask me questions that might make me feel uncomfortable, you know? Because y'all's safety and my safety are the most are the number one most key thing in here is making sure that y'all safety's first and then I'm next. Because I mean, like I said, all of our safety's first, no matter what. But really, if I pitch one, it's y'all first because I don't want no one in my chat getting hurt or just scared off, being like, oh shoot, I should just stop coming into this chat because of what these people were doing in her life without her knowing. And y'all, I know half the time when someone is just or fights to get people that just start things because I will see it. I will see it right away, and either one or two things in that situation will happen. Either I will manually myself block that person, or if one of my mods happens to be in here, get them to do it because y'all, I have for those of you that are new to me, I have a lot more mods than you think I probably do, which is good because it's good to have backup in here because you never know when someone is gonna y- use their advantage. But also think about it this way. Act like if you're working, let's say you're at work one day and you had to find out that let's say you find out, hey, or just get asked, hey, can you do all this all this person's responsibilities because he or she had a family emergency or they're sick or they think you should be taking on their to-do list stuff that they're getting assigned to you to do when it's theirs. You know, it's just getting that stuff piled up from what you currently are listed to do right now. Because, and even on here, yeah. Because first off, who wants to deal with that? Not me. Like, I don't want to pile up someone else's crap in here on top of the on top of everyone else who's took their time to come and say hey in here and say and have fun, you know? And so I really don't mess around. And so even with mods make such a big difference because literally, um, it's a lot less stressful for me to try to do. It's a lot less stress for my brain to go, okay, you know, because I don't want to have to be the only person that just does the responsibilities in here, right? It's like working a job. You don't want to be the only person that does everything as if it's almost like you're more than one job role. It's not like you can't manage something, work your job description, whether that was stocking shelves or managing at the same time, or um, working as a police officer, but you're also trying to play captain of the police department, or you're trying to um, be a doctor, but you're also trying to play on management. All crazy responsibilities that just add to your job, but then add to someone else's job. And with us content creators, I don't want to be a content creator that just does my job, but then I just get and I'm like, okay, I'm acting like I'm a babysitter for some of you trolls in the chat. You know, I'm not trying to add on things to it all. So with mods, they help me out a ton because they are like they're basically security to me, y'all. Because y'all, like I said, if I had to make up kind of my head and how to describe a mod, they're basically security. But on here, the only job they only have to do is watch the chat every little bit and make sure it's all good, make sure no one's not saying anything they shouldn't be saying, and that they are respecting boundaries. And then, if everyone's doing good, you don't have to worry about issues. But if they have to, hey, that's why they're there. And that's why I put my own safety, and even I put my own health first too, because y'all, people can make you crazy to the point where your health is everywhere and all the things and all that. Anyway, I do see someone else just came in the chat as I was saying all that. Hey there, Prime. I definitely see that you came in here while I was talking. How are you doing? But y'all, please be liking if you haven't already. Hang on, let me just do something real quick. I'm doing good. I'm glad to hear that you are doing well. Charles, doing something for a quick second. But, um, yeah. But I'm glad to hear you're doing well. But, yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to think what else I can bring up at you guys. And see, that's why we're a talk stream, because we can talk about whatever and all the things. And, yeah. But we're just hanging out, though, at the moment. So, again, if you're new here, welcome. And if you are a returning subscriber who's been here recently, welcome back. Because I can tell, I can really much tell when someone's new right away, but then also, you know, forget. I mean, that's because, every day I get new subscribers subscribing, which is awesome because the more people in here, but also on the channel, the better. Because that's literally how it works on here is that's the one key thing with the channel is growth. Whether if it's overnight growth or even throughout the day, all that. But yeah, oh, that's cool. Yeah, I'll tell you, it's always nice to chill and all that. But yeah, basically, like our lives are just chill live a lot of the times. Like mainly, a lot of them will be either nightlife based, or sometimes I'll come on during the day too, and also just do the exact same thing as well. Just say hey to you guys, cause I love you guys on here, and it's just y'all are awesome to me, and I wouldn't have been on here without a lot of you guys that are still here. And also, y'all, I wouldn't have gotten really into the thousands on here without y'all. Like, y'all, I still remember when we hit 1,000. It was crazy. I really was. I mean, of course I expected at any point, but basically, I did not. This one day, I did not expect me waking up to us growing into the thousands at one point overnight. But it's not just me, you guys. It's basically a lot of you guys who every day come on here, not just on live, but just help grow the channel. That's one of the best things that anyone can do. And so, again, for those of you who are new, thank you for always showing up. Thank you, even if you're not new, but still. Or if you are new, but you just don't know this part of that yet, because you've only been here for only a short minute. Again, thank you a lot, because that that doesn't just say one thing about you, it says a lot more than it does. Like, y'all, um, 1,000 literally doesn't mean, y'all, and plus, I'm not all about the numbers, y'all, on here. All that matters is, on this channel, we are one big community that all come together and just celebrate and just have fun with each other, Because, I mean, y'all, we don't have to look at our channel and just go, okay, it's just a normal YouTube channel on normal things. It's a big community, but virtual community. Because a lot of you guys are just amazing, and I'm beyond blessed to have such a good group of you guys on here. Because y'all, I probably wouldn't still be going today if y'all hadn't helped and pitched in, whether if it was helping out, sharing out my channel to others, which that's also encouragement too. If you feel like someone else might also like the similar stuff I do in here, share it, recommend it, which is good because the more you help out, recommend channels to check out, that gives more people to look at it and go, oh, they seem cool. I'll check them out. And let's say someone does like me after a good bit on here. Hey, that's another good group of people that just showed up, which is awesome on here. But yeah, it's crazy. But yeah, it's like 1 point. Because yeah, like right now we're at least at like 1.22. So okay, not much of you guys that have came in here, which is crazy. So yeah. I put it's a little bit. But yeah. So it's crazy. So once again, just a big, big thank you to a lot of you who've been doing all of it every day. Which, like I said, just showing up. Um, not just to live streams, but just encouraging um all the good that's out there. I just very appreciate it because there's people that just don't they don't ever take a minute to really look at parts of someone's channel and not just you know and so um yeah, but you guys are truly, truly amazing. Was it 1K or algorithm too? And so, I mean, I will say, prime to answer really your question, I mean, I'll just say it's in the middle, because, you know, um, yeah, I gotta fix my chair. It's because the level is trying to press down, and it does that to me a bunch. Hang on, just turn on my lighting. But, y'all, I will say this, um, a lot of us can think, a lot of people can really think, how do they, how do they do what they do without feeling a certain way? It's because you have to have a lot of patience in yourself, but you also have to have hope in yourself to know that there is good out there, but there's also people that are out there and just, you know, um, but, and again, I am just thankful to those of you that have came in here being respectful and actually not hating not just something about the channel, whether if it's content related or if it's me personally or someone else in the chat. But for those of you who do come in here and actually take time to actually give give not just myself credit, but everyone else credit in here for just being amazing. Cause, you know, not a whole lot of us not a lot of us feel like we have that much that happen because y'all, I'm only 20 years old. And as an adult, that's one thing. Especially give us adults their credit, because y'all, even if we're young adults or even if we're like way past that part and we're a little bit more older, but not too old, you know, any age of adult, whether if you're my age or even older than that. You always have to make sure that you are giving, that you are doing your best to be patient with a lot of us because we're all at different age points. And we all work differently too. Like, I don't, like, I'm somebody who, like, I like to keep it pretty calm and chill and just a good environment on here. And I'm only 20, which is good because, I rather people on here have a good mindset than people coming in here just throwing their own dirty minds into here where hundreds or even less than that have to hear their backstory when no one that was not told. And because, there's not many people that will not even try to dare to think about it. Because, who in their mindset would want to do that? Because, y'all, yeah, okay, I mean, for example, if someone had a bad day, okay, we get that. But that also does not mean that person doesn't have the authority to come onto not just my platform, but other people's platforms and just throw out their freaking anger at the person or even at someone in their chat. Whether if it's some trying to tell you you're not good enough or you're not doing stuff we all seen on here. That does not mean in their own right. They do not have the dang right to even dare attempt to be a fool. Because it's making them look like a dang fool, but also they're playing like I said, they're basically the victim half the time. Because, within the 20 years I've lived, I was raised correctly enough to know if someone, even on here, were to not be understanding or they don't understand boundaries that well, you know? But it just does not mean you have the authority to come onto my platform or anyone's platform and just say negative things about them. Or just be like, or just think, okay, all things you can think about, you know. It's exactly. And for example, a good bit of you guys that have came in here before, I'm thankful for that because that just shows me that y'all aren't negative. Y'all don't try to throw your gut out there to where not just me, but others in the chat itself also hear it all, you know? But, yeah, there are too many on. Exactly, Prime. Yeah, no, but there's also way too many people out there just just trying to get attention without knowing what they're doing. Because sometimes people can really make attention just because, they're the main background now. Y'all, if someone is trying to make it about them, okay, they can exit. Because even on here, if you're trying to make it about you half the time, that just says something about you right there. But y'all, I can say this too. Um, as a Libra, oh, we keep the peace pretty stable until somebody in here or just itself makes me lose it. Like, we will be good for a good bit because we can dictate pretty quick if someone is being bad influence or not. Like, if somebody were coming in here, okay, you're doing pretty good normal, but then someone just snaps. Ho ho. different perspective comes out of me that no one never sees, that no one's never seen out of myself, you know? Because that's not what we do here. But, um, yeah. Yeah, we're slowly going crazy. But yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yes. Yes, there's way too much hate in this world. And yeah. Like, I will say, hang on, let me get in here real quick. Yeah, there's already a lot of hate out there. Just people just not being mature to understand things the right way and all that. I'm actually gonna retake my hair out and just put my hair back in braids because I've had it in a ponytail all day. But also I've had it out of my braids, which I mean, I've been getting obsessed with actually having my hair in braids for like a couple days, and then whether if it's the day that I know I'm having to be out for something or what, um, but I just sometimes like how cool it turns out the next day or two, cause you know it just makes your hair look so cool. Like you don't like, especially if you're someone like me who isn't, um, who does not have natural curly hair, but you almost kind of have like a slight wave, but not like enough where it could make you all of it. But it's still cool either way. And and like I said, I don't have a hatred towards my hair or anything. And I'll say this too. It's also pretty good to try out stuff and see if you like it. And if you do it. If not, find ideas till you like it. Or not. So hand. Yep, exactly. And so, um, exactly. Because let me say this, as a person, I do not tolerate if somebody comes in here just like I said, they can come in here at first not totally fine, but then totally snap without knowing it. And it's like, okay, person, calm down at first, and then we can see what you're doing. But also, um, this is why I this is why I am a negativity free zone here. So if we tend to get somebody who's a jerk, you can either exit immediately or you'll get blocked by me or Mod. Just for my own safety and for everyone else's safety. Because who wants to honestly look at somebody and just make them look like the jerk? Not me. Nuh-uh. Not even close. Me. I don't want to ever be someone who I would never want to be the person that plays the victim in any situation, whether it's with a friend or not. But hang on. Let me get this. But yeah, I like to. But yeah, with me, I keep it chill in here though. So, um, okay, how did you feel like oh my. Okay, we're good. Sorry, I was trying to make sure I have all my clips out what to do. Right before I go to rebrush it. Sorry, I just get stuck. There you go. let's go, y'all. Keep those legs coming. For those of you that are just coming in the chat, very appreciate it. Very much. Take care, y'all. And y'all, even I have been um letting my hair grow than where it is right now, which is pretty crazy. Because for some of you that actually, I will say this about me. Um, for like at least like a few years, like okay, y'all. Okay, so at first, a lot of you don't know this because I don't know, wasn't really doing much content back in that timeline, but like right now, my hair goes to kind of where, not quite the middle of my back, but almost like up here right now. So it is kind of like here, but in the back part of it. Um, right now, but I'm letting this grow a little bit more than where it's at. Like, I'm trying to, like, if you're asking me, okay, where is the exact goal my hair wants to go up to, I'm hoping for it to go at least to the middle of my back. Just, I want to see what that looks like. And just try something new. But of course, it does take a lot of patience to do, though, because it doesn't just, it doesn't just overnight do that. You know? So, it's pretty long, and it's also pretty frizzy too. It's also a little frizzy too in spots, but I do use a anti-frizz, a 24-hour. Well, basically, it's a detangle, but it's also a up to 24-hour frizz resistant as well. Um, but I really would use it if like I was coming out of the shower though, and my hair was getting to that 20%, that not 20, that 80% mark. They're so mad. Also, it's the fact that I've also had it in not braids, but also it's been in a ponytail today. Huntley. That's wild. But let me see what my chat's saying. Do you and you do hair care and you do hair care? Looks great. Thanks. I appreciate it. Um, and yeah, I mean, I will say, as for those of you that do wonder what I do with my hair at the time, it's nothing too crazy. It's just using a good detangler that it does work, and also it makes my hair look really good too. Um, might dampen this maybe just a little bit to help it. Yeah, my gosh, here is free. Oh, whack. Get you stuff getting caught. Right now, that's just what I do just to keep it out of the way. And then, there we go. So I'm just dampening it just a little bit. I actually really don't do it that much, but I'm just doing a little bit of it just to help some of this kind of loosen up. You know, it's kind of good to do that if you feel like you need to. But yeah, that's what Lily wears at right now. Just cray. Um, now, actually, I can show you guys kind of how I braid too, because there is a. I mean, some of you do this way too, but you know, there's people that braid all kinds of different methods. Um, Second, just a second. There we go. Oh yeah, that's the one. Okay, yeah, that's better. Let me doing it. Wipe them all again. That's just because I went back and dampened it just a little, just to make sure. So obviously split it into 3 sections like you would. I mean, all of us do 3, so that's just how it does work. I mean, some can go up to more too, but it also depends on the brain itself. So here's kind of what I do. I'll kind of start the first part. So you just grab. Of course, you start like this. I'm just gonna start it. So what I usually do is when I go to put in each of the 3, I will go this one, put it in like that, and then I will pull like that, and then repeat in. So hold up so it doesn't try to pull. Sometimes I will lift it up just so it stays a certain direction. So yeah, but you pull, thread through, pull, thread through. But also come back down and just grab the excess hair that you sometimes what I do is the excess hair left over, I kind of just re-braid it just to let it get all the way down. Because my hair's at good enough point where I can let it go down without it being too crazy. Easy, cool. Yeah, that's what I've done a bunch. Yeah, and if someone here does not know how to braid, or if you don't, or if you're just always someone who likes to look for methods, that's what I do a bunch. Is I just grab my normal 3s, but instead, I mean, kind of when you get to where you kind of go a little normal without the pulls, because you go like this normal, but I'm going to pull and then just pull. But yeah, I like to pull it not like aggressively, but snug enough where it's not gonna rip my hair out. But also it gives you, you know, that's else, and that's the part 2 of baby hairs coming out of place. But all you can do is rebraid that, and that's like it didn't show up. But what you do is just thread through, pull, and then repeat it on all sides. So left, middle, right, middle, middle to middle, and then pull. But sometimes when you get to like almost the end, you have to kind of just not do it because it's like, it could just come out of place. But you do it for a good bit until you're almost at the end. So, like that. But then I pinch it pretty hard enough so it holds. But also doing it that way, it also gives you a good, better chance at having a little more of a tighter um curl come out. You'll have a little more tighter, um, a little bit like a tighter wave effect than having it just like a little bit. Like, yeah. Okay, look, this is what I mean by this one. Like, for example, my hair type is straight, but like I said, it does have a slight wave half the time. So, like, right in here, it kind of does, and even kind of throughout. There's points that it does have a little bit of a wave to it. Just a natural wave from it being straight. I'm gonna do the same with on this side. I'm just gonna dampen a little bit, but I got a little more than what I just did. I actually never even done my hair that way. Well, I mean, if I was out of the shower, but um, but usually after showers, I wait to do my deep um do my detangling stuff in it before I braid it, just so I can do it when my hair stuff's in it, just so it kind of blends in with all of it. Yeah, so I was about to redo it again. The towards the bottom. But yeah, that's basically what I do though. But yeah, that's also a really cool way. But also, and also, for anyone who does ask if I also do that braids too, yeah, sometimes. Like sometimes I've French braid. I'm not terrible at it. It's, I mean, getting, I'm getting close enough to where it's not as bad. But I'll tell you, French braiding though is a little bit. I mean, French knives are very similar, but the only difference is one is over and the other one's under. But I mean, even though the step is it's normal braiding, but then you just add hair, and then until you get to like down here. But um, yeah, I mean, I was like myself wearing braids these days. But now let's just see how it does. Normal. So hang on. So let's see here. If there we go, footprint. There we go. And then grab all that. Nope. There we go. Let it go for a minute. And then just repeat all the same steps. But yeah, it's just doing this whole. Now come to the side. Ah, apologies. Alright. Let me. And also, I'm gonna kind of go over it this way for a second. And then also, yeah, it's also a good thing to do too is angle your braid a certain direction before you're wanting it to stick, so that way it stays kind of where you want it to go and not it trying to move in spots where you don't want it to go. Like if you're trying to move it to stay behind towards your back, move it up or away from you. But if you want it more close, aim it up front to where it does. Oh, right, I'm about to go right up here. that's also why you do check to make sure that it all went through without a hair or two trying to be crazy. All the things. So, how does it feel to open hand? How does it feel to open? It also just depends on the day. Like, mostly half the time, like for example, if my hair was in a ponytail for a good half of the day, I mean, it also depends on if it's utter, if it's in a high ponytail one day. I'll tell you, if it's in a high ponytail, it's a little. It does have that like sensation, but just from it being high up on my butt, if it's like low to medium, it definitely isn't nearly as bad. Um, and again, just go over a couple, just a couple more times just to make sure that it's not trying to look crooked. It's always good to go back a couple times. So it's impressive too. I can really go back and do a lot of it. And even doing that, even that, just I'll let it just snip behind the back. Yeah, it's fine. Also has this. Yeah, I gotta go down just a little more. But yeah, I mean, usually like if I'm taking it out of ponytail, it feels mostly pretty good, just depending on how high or low it is. If it's low to medium, okay. It doesn't really make me too crazy, but if it's like high up, it feels nice to put it back to the perfect medium of where it goes. And also, I wear ponytails like crazy half the time. But I mean, I do wear other hairstyles out too, not just ponytails 24/7. I'm not like some people who are certain with like hairstyles, you know? And puff it now. In some spots, I'll clip some of the corners up just to hold it in place. Because even though your hair is growing like crazy, that still does not mean there's gonna be some hairs just waiting to slide out in the middle of the night. Like for example, I keep um, these at least in my hair for a couple days, unless it's like shower night. Then I'll take them out, shower, and then when I get done, have it up in a ponytail for a good little bit until it gets to that 80% dry mark, and then I'll go in with my detangler. Actually, I should, speaking of, I'll show you guys it for the stuff I use. But it's the Garnier um for this is what it's called, which is an anti-humidity smoothing stuff, but it also has argan oil in it, and it's up to 24-hour frizz resistant. So, and y'all, even my hair type is one of those hair types that will be prone to it getting staticky and frizzy like crazy, even if it's not curled. And this thing, wait, oh, thank God. Sorry, on my phone literally died mid sentence. So it's on the charger right now, but let me try to. It's hard to stand it because it's not like it's not really near on a stand. Okay. that should hopefully work. But yeah, for those of you that just wondered what the heck was happening, let's just say my phone decided to delete. God dang, trying to die in mid sentence. But like I was saying before, it died on me. Um, but yeah, like my hair type is one of those hair types that is prone to getting pretty staticky and frizzy like crazy. Um, and so, um, but yeah, like this stuff helps out a lot, and it also helps some of these tangles be nearly as bad too, which is because let's just say it here, who wants to put up with who literally wants to put up with all of it, you know? Because I don't want to be somebody who deals with the knots that are coming in my hair like crazy. And so, anyway, let me see what has happened since then. But yeah, so yeah, that's usually what I do here. Is I usually just go over in corners that are gonna need it, just so that way your hair is secure enough. Because I'd rather this hold up than it trying to literally fall out, like out of place in the middle of the night, which that would suck if that were to happen on me. Um, so hold that down. Oh, hang on. The Sometimes you kind of have to push these up just a little. Let's see. Okay, there we go. Now, there we go. Okay, now I'm gonna get this to my other charger, which is long enough. I'm trying to hook this thing down to me again. So give me a second, Let me try to get. Okay, sorry guys. I was rebraiding my hair, but also um trying to make it hold up. But okay, who's in the chat? But yeah. So anyway, thanks. But yeah, sorry, my phone really died in the freaking middle of the live, and so that was something. I don't know if it's charged. Okay, it's in there, so I make sure it was in there. And so that's why that's why I'm glitching toward the end. But I mean, it happens. It's not really a first rodeo for everything. But now my hair is tied back like it is, and you can continue. Yeah. Might take a matter of a minute. Okay. So anyway, now I'm gonna sit back down like I was doing. That way it'd be easier to maintain. But yeah. And see, that's how I get just even stay back like that. Is by, and even that's also a good fundamental too, is when you are braiding your hair and all that, is make sure you are having it angled a certain direction that you are wanting it to stay to. So if you're wanting it to stay back like this, either angle it up or horizontally, or if you're wanting it to stay up front, just make it go forward so it stays in that direction. And it'll stay smooth in the back too, because you want it to stick in the direction that you want it to go. Then it just trying to force its way to you, you know. And so, um, yeah. And sorry, I was taking my last round of my epileptic medication, which is important. About that till tomorrow now, which is awesome. And so, yeah. But yeah, that's what's going on there, though, y'all. Let's go. We got 12 likes in the chat. But yeah, and so, but yeah, I keep these in until at least up to my next shower day, which is tomorrow. But um, yeah, then I'll have it up probably the point until after I shower, and then after it, basically after I do um my um basically after I put my detangler in my hair. After that, I'll rebraid it after, just so it holds it up. Have I watched the no, I've not, actually, to answer your question. Their Prime, I've never heard of that. I'm pretty new to that. But yeah, so anyway. And yes, y'all, my glasses were off like when I was doing my hair, but that's usually what I do is I usually have them. Yeah, the only times that they come off me, y'all, is the only times my glasses come off, y'all, is when I'm fixing my hair or if I'm in the shower. But other than that, they're on. Or if I was letting my makeup dry. Like if I had to be somewhere and I was letting my makeup dry and all the things, which it takes a little bit for it to dry fully. But, you know. But I mean, I'll say this, I can see okay enough for a good little bit, but then after that, it's like a complete different story. Like, for example, I'm impressed my boyfriend seems like he can last a little longer without him, unlike me, where I cannot do it that long. Especially for my eyes, at least for me. It just does not last that long at all. Because I mean, I do have bad eyesight, but also um I also have lazy eye as well, but that just means one of your eyes is a different direction than the other. And so even I've been wearing glasses to see if it could correct at least some of it, but I've been wearing glasses ever since I was in like 5th grade though. But I didn't start wearing like actual prescriptions till I was like in middle school. So at first, y'all, Lily, I wore. I mean, a lot of us know that you can just because at first I was wearing just typical readers you can get at like Walmart for a good for a good enough price at first, so you can just get in the freaking owl. So they I was just wearing just one of the um typical readers at first, and then moved into prescription when I was in middle school and all that. And so, um, yeah. If you into the it's a good one. Well, that's cool. Starry High, Jackman, and yeah. Ah, that's pretty cool. I never really much knew that. Hmm. That's cool. I'll have to think about it for sure. Um, but yeah, and so, um, and yes, you guys, if y'all have not known that about me, yeah, I've worn glasses ever since I was in like fifth grade. Um, and I'll tell you, so far out of like, if I had to pick a favorite pair of glasses I've worn since then, it's these ones, hands down. Because these I've had for a couple years, but right now I'm still waiting for my parents to figure out we're still trying to figure out what places take our insurance that will take that because not every place will take the exact insurance you use. And so, but luckily Walmart was able, something I was surprised that Walmart was able to do for now was I mean at first we went to Walmart just to see what if they could, but they couldn't. But something they were able to do though was um put the newer like the lenses part of them, not because I didn't get frames, but they were able to order the prescription lens from my prescription and put those onto these for now until I can get in. Well, I mean, until we can get into like Sam's Club or something and see if they take our insurance because that's actually where these were from originally. Were from Sam's Club, which are really cute. And y'all, I'm one of those people that has a backup pair on all occasions. So like if a pair were to break or if something happened to one of my one of my pairs of glasses, then I have a backup. But then but then this way I also have a backup on hand. So if something were to happen, like if I accidentally lost it, or if someone stole these, or anything like that, then I have an extra pair on hand. So that way it doesn't feel, you know, that way I can still see what's happening. Cause you've got to see. Cause if not, you're crazy. But um, yeah. But also I also do love these up because they're really cute. Cause they're like a see-through, like pink on the bottom and then black on top. Fun fact: my favorite color is pink, by the way. And at one point, I think it was both. At one point, and even I do love how like I love the effect it gives with them too, and I love how they just blend. Like it just makes them look really cool. And I kind of like on the side. I love on the side. It's not like super thick. Like I love that these are thin enough where they don't feel funny, but they're thin enough where it's not gonna just drive me nuts. And like I said, I also love the fact that they're not super thick on the side and super wide because sometimes y'all wearing wearing just the legs on the side that are a little bit wider than these. Sometimes they can feel like too much or just make it like a little wild. But there's nothing better but than wearing a good pair of glasses that have a good enough strength where this can hold. And I actually did have them. Actually, when I did get these pairs back, I also had them adjust the back part just to where it could be snugged enough where because y'all even if y'all I'll say this it makes me crazy. I mean, it makes anyone crazy, honestly. Whenever you have to keep, like, when you look down, or if you're looking a certain direction, or if you feel the side just. But also, mainly, if you're looking down at something, but then you notice it is starting to go down with you, that makes me crazy. And I'm like, and so I just had them do it to where that way it'd be snugged, especially after me not wearing these probably after a year and a half because um the old prescriptions that I had them, they were like really scratched up. Just for me clean them one day. Um and all that. And so that's why I have an extra pair always on hand. So if something like that happens, I've got a pair to last me. But my other pairs right now, like the lenses on those are like wearing out. Like the film is starting to peel because of how old they are. But also they're the old prescriptions too. So yeah. But the crazy part with me was, y'all, I will say this. I feel like I think it was crazy when I first put these on after a year and a half. Oh, y'all, it felt great to wear these again, but also for like probably the first day, I feel like this is the first time I've seen it happen to me. I mean, it does happen with some people, but it was it was definitely at first I felt like it was happening, the but the first day that I was wearing them, it wasn't all day, but there were only a couple points throughout the day, like after when I got them back and was wearing them around the store because I was also looking at some stuff too, just walking around. And there were points where my eyes were getting adjust, like they were trying to, like there were a couple times that my vision did go blurry for only like 3 seconds, just because they're trying to get used to wearing them again. And that even said a lot, even with how crazy the prescription was too. So that was a first. I feel like a first. It feels like it was a first for me that one of my prescription lenses did. I mean, had worked that well where my eyes were trying to get adjusted to the prescription. I feel like. So I'm like, dang. But it was only for like a little bit though, but not that long enough, which is pretty good though. And so, um, yeah. But I mean, I love these though. Like, I mean, out of all, like I said, out of like, like I said, if I were to look from me as a fifth grader to me as an adult, and I'm trying to think, I think I was a junior, I think I was still in high school still when I got these. So it's impressive that I mean, they've lasted me a good bit too. So, um, it's pretty impressive. I'm not gonna lie. But like I said, these are like my favorites. Like I said, if I had a fair pair, it's these ones, just because of the color. But also, I just, they're just really cool, and they really go with anything. So, like half of the time, like I can wear any color right now and don't care if it matches or not, because I think kind of the best part too is it with the black part of it really helps too, because even black goes with anything. Like gray, black, pink, all colors that you can think. And also I kind of like with the top and bottoms being two different colors, and also with it having that ombre effect, is it kind of gives you a really cool dimension almost. Like it kind of gives you that like a dimensional look. Like it shows a lot, it just looks good. Fits ya well in all the things. And I love that these are basically squared. Because y'all, I don't know what it is. With me, I feel like at least like rounded squared. Not like direct round, but like these are like basically squares to round frames. I don't know what it is, y'all. For me, I'm finding it fitting my face shape pretty well. Unlike wearing just normal round ones, which, yeah, I'm discovering that kind of quick. Be like, oh, good to know that kind of deal. And so, Um, thanks. Yeah, I like the frame of them too. Um, like I said, it's really cool. And even like right here, it's got like a basically a rose gold to like almost like a coppery gold from literally the lighting perspective as well, which is really cool. And like I said, I love that these aren't like super like bulky and just like thick and wide. But I love that these are skinny enough where I feel like when you go to put them on, you're not gonna worry about them getting broken by accident. Just by because sometimes when you wear glasses that are like when the legs of them are a lot more skinnier, sometimes you feel like they're gonna break because you never know what's gonna happen. But with these, I don't. With these, I can put these on and take these off and not worry about them breaking as much as you would think they would. But yeah, pretty crazy. And so, let me see. Oh, and fun fact, when me and my boyfriend actually first started dating, these also were the glasses I wore as well, which is pretty crazy as well. And so, um, oh, I see someone else came in this chat. In here. How do you say gap in mm, uh honestly I'm not even trying to attempt that just in case you're trying to make me do something here. Anyway, no way that's one of my favorite. Really? Yeah, because I mean, first off, like, yeah, like I basically love like frames like these that are more like square, that are not like direct round, but they're like squared-ish. Like they're like squared, even though they're not like fully shaped square, but they're like round enough where they're squared. Like if you maybe mix the two together, where they're more like square rounded. Because literally, like I said, for me, I feel like it fits my face shape really well. And, I feel like if I were just, I mean, I'm not saying round, like direct round, makes me look crazy or anything. It's just, you'll know whenever you wear a certain pair of glasses of any kind and just the frame style of them, you'll know which ones suit you really well directly. Like, you'll know if a round frame will work better for you or if a squared frame will work. Even your face shape also, like we all have different face shapes, so really everyone's not gonna be the exact same. Or I'm talking to Prime about the frames because we were just discussing on that in the chat. That's what's happening. Um, but yeah, actually, I can re-show you guys. Actually, I'll stand up. Yeah, good. Let's see how my photo can show you because, like I said, when me and my boyfriend started dating like almost basically 2 years ago, I literally was wearing these exact frames in um our photo, which is I've got like a three-way, but this is actually I can show you guys this. Let's go, Mons in my chat. Let's go. Oh, praise God. Anyway, let me real quick pin this so that way everyone that starts coming in sees this. Anyway, but yeah, like right here, I mean, well, actually these two. Or not, am I on the third? Well, no, I think I am on the third. I'll have to look. But yeah, like I said, right here I'm wearing them, just like right now. Just funny. That's crazy. You're looking at high school me, y'all. Crazy. Like this was us when we first started dating. And if anyone wants to know year wise, this was back in 2023. Like late 2023 going into 2024, aka senior year, because that's when I graduated was 24. We both were class of 24, but graduated from two different schools because I later that year transferred because I moved because we moved. And then this was, and again, for those of you that are new that don't know that, if you also want to know age gaps, we're a year apart, but at the time when we started dating, we both were 17, but I was 17, almost 18 within a 2 week period. Because at the timeline I was on. Then this was me when I was 18, and this was AJ when he was 17, and that gives you a reference. This was me at 19, and then AJ at 18. Yeah, I think I'm wearing the same frames in these two. But yeah, and these are transitionals, y'all. If you know, those of you that are wondering. But yeah, even I love that I did like that too. I mean, I've got other frames sitting around here, but yeah, yeah, I caught that. It does. Thanks. Yeah, because, yeah, like I said, you'll know whenever you wear, like, because you'll know the exact shape that'll fit you, especially the way it looks on you. You'll know. Be like, because, I mean, my ones are like round, round, and you can see the difference between the two. Like this one, it, I'll tell you, it complements my age really well, especially for me only being 20 and all the things as well. Let me look through the chat. How have you been? I've been good. How about you, Logan? I know I saw you popped in here when I was still chatting, but don't think I didn't see in the chat. Cause I did. But yeah, for those of you that are new, yeah, like I said, that's that was literally me and my boyfriend right there. Because and for anyone that does wonder, for anyone that is new right now, my chill that is hearing me right now, my boyfriend and I both met in high school. We were actually really good friends, actually, in high school. Y'all, the thing is, when you are dating a friend that you like, when you date someone, like when you are dating somebody that, let's say y'all were friends way before y'all were dating, but you didn't ever think it would go that far into it. Some some people some people think it might affect their friendship, but y'all, I feel like with us, it literally just went smooth. Like I feel like I feel like there wasn't one time that we started it, like when we started, I didn't feel like how is this gonna affect our friendship, I didn't have that feeling that others have, that other people would get. Like with us two, it just ran smoothly, which is good because, you know, I mean, that's like it doesn't affect it. It's just, I mean, it's always, I mean, I can't blame any of us though, but it's kind of like questioning yourself, questioning yourself on little things like that. But, um, yeah, but I mean, y'all, he's truly, truly amazing. And I am forever thankful that we started dating as seniors in high school. And like I said, we were high school sweethearts. It was, and anyone that wants to know timeline and how it all worked out, I still go crazy about this, y'all, because even the time frame he was around, mm, it also says a bunch too. Um, because y'all, it was the week of homecoming, aka day one of homecoming week. And literally, I still remember kind of everything still from day one. Um, so literally, it was just a typical Monday. And it was basically six period, and our lunch period was that exact period. And I was just coming back from the lunch lanes like all of us were doing, so me, his name, and just so you know, for those that are wanting no names, AJ is his name. Um, yeah, what's crazy to me was we all were at least a good, or at least I was the last one coming back. I don't remember how it was. I think I might have been the second to last one coming back from getting my lunch from the lunch line. And so I'm just eating and all that and hanging out with my friends. And um, so it included me, my best friend Asia, um, my now partner, his brother, and then a couple other friends of mine. And the crazy part, y'all, was I was not expecting this to happen. So at first, I think it was my best friend who was trying to catch my attention, or somebody out of my friends was catching my attention, be like, "Hey, AJ has to ask you something." I'm like, "What is that?" I thought he was trying to get my attention for like, it's, how it kind of gets if you can't hear over somebody, you know. And so I'm like, what is it? And then it everyone knows how nervous some guys can be when they're getting to that point of asking the girl out, which is normal. Not saying it's not normal, because if it wasn't normal, that would not be crazy. Um, and so at first, it was a two in one question because, like I said, it's homecoming. This is where that plot twist comes into place. At first, he asks me out to homecoming, y'all. Yo, the craziest thing was this was the first time I ever got asked out to homecoming by a guy in high school. But that's also because the only times we had homecoming was my junior year and senior year because aka COVID. Y'all, cause y'all during COVID, like when it started, I was late 8th grade, almost a freshman when that happened. Like I was almost a freshman. So knowing I was one of those high schoolers walking into my first day of high school during a pandemic was crazy. Like, it's crazy for everyone who were to all freshmen that were a freshman in high school, like myself. But it was like I said, it was like August of that year, though. But when it directly started, I was like late into like my 8th grade year, aka final year of middle school before high school. And so, um, pretty crazy to believe that. And so, um, yeah, so the first couple years, so from freshman year through sophomore year, we didn't have homecoming due to COVID, which I get because, it's crazy. But when it was like, it was 2020, well, 2020, late 2022 to 23 year, that's when they started picking it back up. And so I remembered my first year going with one of my really good friends at first, my first year, which was pretty cool. Um, and then the next year I went with now my forever partner, which is amazing. Um, but yeah, that was the first time I ever got asked out by a guy at homecoming, which was crazy. And even I vision it, I was like, imagine if that were to happen to me. Oh my gosh, that'd be crazy. Because, it's like the craziest thing to think about. And then, um, after, and then I text my mom saying what's happened because of the excitement I was in, and she was obviously happy for me, which she would, because there's not gonna be a single time she wouldn't be. And then fast forward about a couple minutes later, he pops out, not like actually, but he popped out the question at me, which is AK for us to be dating, and I said yes, and y'all, me and my friends were going absolutely crazy. Like I I did not think, like, I never suspected that one of that the second guy I met in my English class sophomore year, I would be dating him next senior year. And for actually a little fact about my ex, we actually all three met in the same class sophomore year, but it was crazy. I'm not gonna lie. But I'm also really good friends with Max now because he's actually a lot more chiller and not nearly as a jerk as he was. But yeah, it was crazy. And so, um, but even since then, y'all, I have just been so blessed to have him in my life, but also to have a partner who actually understands me and listens to me, and actually I feel like um it just, it just feels like an actual relationship, like it's supposed to look like things from your partner listening to you whenever you're struggling, to someone you can feel safe going up. I can feel safe going up to him and just telling them something that's on my mind, whether if it's something I'm going through, or if I'm having a hard day, or if I just need someone to vent to for 10 minutes on a certain situation that had made me ticked off that day or something. Or, it's kind of like a best friend, but, I kind of say it to both of them. But yeah, it's truly amazing. But also, I'm just so blessed that God put us together because He truly, He truly knew that we were meant for each other. And I love that we've started going to church together at points now. So I think we started doing that since I think August. I think August. Just crazy. And yeah, and I'm so thankful that we even are starting to do that together because oh my god, y'all, even I've never been in a relationship where even we've had the Lord in it too, which I'm thankful. Even I was hoping one day for also a relationship where that could happen, or even if we're just getting started. Like for him, he's just like he's just learning and understanding what it means and all that. Like he basically he's just he's a beginner Christian right now. Like he's right now starting to learn the ropes and all the things that it takes to understand stuff, which hey, for someone who's went to church for half her life, that's also one thing too, because he's just truly amazing. But yeah, I'm going to go, but really nice stories. Yeah. All right, Logan, thank you so much for being in here, and I'll see you on about. But yeah, it was truly amazing. And so, um, hang on. I'll show you guys probably the most recent church photo that we've had of us for for my new people in here, which were so cute. So hey, let me pull up um a good photo of us from when we were at church together. Um, let's see. So, and this is also what it looks like too. Again, just to see a better picture of him as well for my new people. Yo, he's truly amazing. I'll say that right now. So good. And yeah, this was like the most recent church pic we got. And this was back, what was it? I think a month ago? Yeah. Yeah, I think this was right around March, actually. Yeah. Yeah, it was a month ago. It was, what was it? March. I think it was. March 18th. I think 18th, or I need to look. It might have been I think it was the 19th or something like that. But I'll have to look on my calendar. But it was right around though. Um, maybe it might have been the 15th. 15th or 14th. My brain's forgetting. Like I said, I'll double check just to see. But this was one of our and and for those of you that do ask, he and I literally have him like coordinate outfits, like literally, because it's cute to, it's fun to do that, because then you really get a sense, and people can tell that you're dating kind of instantly too. But also, if you have to know cute on Twitter in public, you can tell off bat. But that's a little behind the scenes too for all my new subscribers too. So that way, if you also kind of want to learn a little more about us too, then you can. But yeah, and again, for those of you that wonder about age again, current age right now is I am 20, he is 19. He's almost 20 though. So he'll be 20 in like the next 2 months, which is crazy to think about. And I'll be 21 in the next 6 months. Again, I cannot think. I can't even think that we're both turning big numbers. It's like, I can't believe our age this year though, that we're literally in like the big number timelines, because y'all, when you're 20 and 21, those are big deals. Like, I mean, okay, 20 meaning, okay, you actually are a fully adult, not just by law, but it's like celebrating like your first actual adult. Like you're fully out of the teens, even though they freaking say by law you're adult, you're literally a freaking adult by 18, but technically it really should be 20, because 20 is really like the actual adult. Like you're fully out of the teens, which is crazy. And then 21, of course, is the obvious. Is you can do a little more legal stuff if you wanted to, but no, you can't have to. In which I'm honestly, I'm not even. I'll tell you, for me at 21, I'm not gonna do it, because I'm not risking my health, y'all. Because there's people that will just get drunk, but also they'll keep doing it to where it will make their health go crazy. And I'm not trying to do harm to myself, because even even you can also get seizures also due to alcohol and all kinds of crap as well, you know. And I just don't want to. And I'm pretty good about like my own safety awareness with my health, because especially with me being a being an epileptic, I'm not messing around. I'm not. So, or even if I did ever think about drinking in the future, I would do something to where I would play it safe. Like I would just do something that's nothing to where I'm gonna get too high, but something to where it's not gonna drive me through the roof or make me sound like I'm about to get arrested. Because there's been people that make crazy nonsense decisions from being drunk to where it's gotten them to get arrested. And I'm not trying to turn into a crazy person like that in like 5 years. I'm just not. But also, like I said, I love y'all safety's first out of, I mean, of course your health is first too, but the most important thing is safety first. Most and foremost. And then your health is next on the other line. But also with me it's both health and safety is the first thing for me, because I'm not trying to trigger anything that could spike my own health to go to the other side without knowing it. And also, I don't know, there's not that many people that ever see their health that way. I feel like, unlike myself, I feel like I'm one of those that really sees it so much clearer. And even that just went to show how well I was raised too, because even I know what to expect a bit, but also I know kind of a little idea. Okay, this is what would happen to me if I'm not doing this the correct way, you know? But that's just what it is. And so, let me check the chat too, because I know it's been a second since I've looked at the chat too. Let's see here. Um, that's actually a really, that's actually a really awesome pick. Oh, thanks. I appreciate it. You look really happy. You look genuinely happy there. Kinda rare to see that kind of calm. Exactly, yeah. That I'll tell you. Having a relationship with that, it's rare these days, y'all. Like there's people out there that especially for men. Like there's men out there these days that they act like and let me say this, there's just men these days I feel like act more like boys these days than actual men. Because if if somebody out there was just dating somebody right now and they're just being a jerk, they're basically technically a boy and not a man because even I learned the differences between the two. A boy is like a child that just never learns much, but also just acts like a fool. A man knows his demand, knows what is right and wrong, but he also knows and is also aware of things. And he also will risk anything to help his partner when she needs him the most. A boy will not care. He will act like a complete idiot, aka just someone who just does not care. Like, he will not have a care in the world. Unlike a man, he will care more. He will care more than anything. Like, he will put her as his top priority, on top of his health, too. Like, that's the one thing with a guy you should be looking for is someone who puts you first, not other things that aren't even supposed to be on that list. You know, and they're not gonna also, and also you know that they're not gonna really cheat on you because you can trust them good enough where you've seen how well they react. Like, let's say if you're in my situation where me and my person, like, we were friends way before we were dating, and during his and I's friendship, he was a really good friend to me. Like, there's never been a moment where he had turned corners on me during our friendship. And I did learn a little something too, but it was more revealed when we were dating. I mean, when we started, like, I think he admitted it to me last year. Apparently he had a crush on me since the same year, but just I never knew that because he never admitted it to me. But some guys can kind of be nervous about that. But I'm like, it was crazy when I found out that. It was crazy when I found it out that I'm like, what? Which made me want to go crazy in a good way, not that crazy, but a good crazy. Um, but yeah, let me check my checks. It gets awfully crazy. Oh, hang on, we got where was that? So 21 just chaos, and you're just out here observing it. Mhm. You seem like you could be the calm one keeping it. Yep. Yes. No. Yes, not a fan of the drunk crowd. Exactly, because, I mean, y'all, for anyone who's seen, like, all the crazy movies and all the weird nonsense where it shows drunk scenes happening, y'all know what I mean. It's crazy. But people can, like, there's people that can do stuff to where they can be getting arrested for their dirty minds. Of whether, because, when the thing is, when someone's so drunk and they don't know it, they can literally act like a criminal. They literally can act like they are tough enough, but no, you're not. Nah. But also, y'all, I'm an epileptic and I'm not trying to make my medical condition deteriorate a lot crazier. Because also not just being in the drunk crowd too, but also even there's people that can also have seizures also due to drugs as well, like alcohol and all the things. And I'm not trying to, ugh, not be there. And like I said, if I did do something, I would do something safe to where I wouldn't be acting like the bad guy in that situation. But like I said, I like to just play it safe. I'm just that, and let me say this: there's not that many people that even ever think in their minds like that too. Be like, oh, I would totally drink by the time I'm 21. Unlike me, where I have seen so many just video like clips just generally that will pop up, and I've heard of people just doing bad things that they shouldn't be doing because of how drunk they were, you know? And I'm like, okay, now I am not being that person. I'm not gonna try to be in the crowd. I'm only gonna be in the crowd where I'm taking care of my health and I'm staying normal myself. But I also want to put my safety first too, before anything else happens. And all that as well. Let's see. Yeah, it's not even about big gestures. It's just consistency and awareness. Not awareness, most people don't even notice the little things you seem like someone who does. Who does, though? Yeah, exactly. Like, yeah. Yeah, because, like, for example, I'm aware what that can do to me. And also, y'all, even my dad used to be a police officer back in the day. Back in the day for like 20-ish years. And so even I know kind of what that's like is knowing that he, because the first half of his years he was working nights and then worked days after that. And then retired about a few years ago. When like a little like kind of before we moved out here. And this was while I was still in the process of graduating too. So like right around my senior year. Um as well before we moved. And so um yeah, too. But yeah. But yeah, basically yeah, but but yeah, I mean relationships are one of those things where it's like, it's rare and all that. I just wanted to come by. I can't say long, sorry. It's okay. At least you were able to come in for a good bit and say, hey, that's a matter too, and all that. School wrong. Hopefully, school goes well for you. And I will say this just know most of my streams are posted on here, but if some get to the point where it's way too much, like drama gets in here, those are not, those do not get posted. But yeah, so hopefully school goes well for you and all that. But yeah. And like I said, I'm on here every other day, sometimes every couple days. But also it depends on my schedule too throughout the week. Or it also just depends if the day gets kind of hectic or not. Cause life can do a whole bunch without knowing and all that as well. Now for me, school never goes what? Maybe, but I just hope it does. But thanks. Oh, I mean, of course, because I mean, you know. I mean, I would. I mean, I remember those days when it was like in school too. I mean, of course, no one doesn't want to be at school, but at the same time, it's like you got. I mean, you were learning a lot, but also, there's a lot just for it. And so, um, yeah, and so, um, and I think it was kind of crazy with me was at first with me, like, um, I was thinking about going into. I was thinking about going to college at first after high school, but then rethinking about how much college is and all that. I'm like, yo, it's inflation. It gets expensive. And I'm like, yeah, I wouldn't do it like right away for me. Because, I mean, college is expensive. And if you're someone who, I mean, it takes a while just to, not, it takes a little bit to afford. But also, right now, it's, or if I ever did, or if I ever did think about doing college, I might give it a few years just until I'm at least on my own, but also I feel like I can kind of get an idea. But y'all, you can do so many things though without a degree, honestly. But um yeah. So like at first I kind of had the idea of going into college and getting like a, and if I did, like I said, if I did, either getting a degree, either working with pre-K kids or anything like that, or just really going in there to see what it's like. But like I said, there's plenty of time to tell if I think that far or not. Yeah, I'm still a kid, but scared to get in a hair grade. Dang, really? That's crazy. But yeah, trust me, you've got a while till you get up there, and you'll learn a bunch though throughout the years. So, like each school year, you learn something new from it and all the things. But yeah, yeah, I'm 20, and it's like me relearning about Mountain Pass is one as well. But yeah, we're just hanging out though, y'all. Um, and I mean, I will say this: out of my school years, if I'll say this, if I had to pick probably a year that was like probably maybe maybe my favorite year out of all school years, it's probably senior year. Even though it, even though it's kind of, even though that was the year I transferred, but it was knowing that I was almost done, but also to be done for good. But also it was a good year too, because it really felt like that year kind of felt like a big deal for me, because senior year is a big deal for anyone, because the best part about that is you're looking forward to graduating, you're looking forward to all the things after that. And so, um, but yeah, definitely senior year was one of my best years, but also, um, but it's also the fact that my boyfriend and I met this that we're dating that year too. But also, I would say, I mean, like I said, there's so many years I could also be selected right now, but senior year is also top because it was knowing that I was only I was so close to actually making it out. It felt great, like it definitely felt great and all that. But yeah, yep, we gotta go. Yeah. All right, but yeah. Anyway. But yeah, it's one of those. But yeah, like I said, yeah, Thursday also led me through that. Yes, yeah, I transferred schools my senior year too, so even that kind of sucked. But luckily, I um graduated like anything wasn't gonna happen and all the things. And even I'm just blessed that I made it all years and all the things. But yeah, yep. A police officer and a head. Yes. Oh, jeez. Yeah, that explains your yep standards. You probably don't tolerate. Yes, exactly. Nonsense for long makes you wonder how some people they be still managing to slip past that. Always someone though. Exactly. Yeah, yeah. I mean, me in general, yeah, I can't stand people's nonsense half the time. But it's really more like if someone is really on my nerves half the time, it's like, okay. Because, like, in my head, I'm like, okay, this person can chill, or something crazy could be coming at me. But, yeah, like, and I mean, for example, I mean, there's been situations where someone's driven me crazy to where I'm like, okay, my brain's literally gonna lose it at any moment at just the things. But not like where I'm trying to throw hands at somebody, but just to good enough where it's like, oh great, dealing with all kinds of crap. But yeah, and I mean the thing is, if someone even tries to mess with me after a while, like for example, if I like examples, this is yo, this is how like I am. Like whenever I would hear people like yeah, like especially as a high school student, when I was in high school and I would end up hearing a lot of people just cussing like crazy at their friends, like they act like it's completely normal. And for someone who was raised correctly in his household, not like strict, but like a good enough, right? Like yo, I was raised right to where even though I can hear someone cussing a few feet from me, but didn't say it towards me, and I'm like, in my head, I'm like, can they chill their language? But also, there's times like I can hear him say it toward me, I'm like, what? And I would literally would just start. There's been times I've literally been like, hey, watch your language, please, because you know other people don't tolerate, even if they were raised correctly or not. Well, learning stuff like that. But hey, I can't control that. Hey, you're in a household where it's on free crazy in here, but I'm over here and I was raised correct of knowing how to act mature. And even that is how and even that's why I don't mess around even um with anyone on here that tries to act like a troll. So, like with trolls in here, that's why I literally don't play around. Because literally I was raised correctly to where if somebody were to cuss in the chat or do anything worse than that, that's why a different side of me comes out. But also, yo, that's the Libra in me too, though, because, y'all, even us Libras, literally us Libras can do not tolerate drama whatsoever. I I I get very sensitive pretty quickly with some people that just irritate me to the point where it makes me want to just go crazy sometimes. And so, yeah, so it definitely explains a lot in me. a lot, but even also explains why I literally get serious for no reason. But that's just the Libra in me though, and you really can't control that. But also, like I said, it would to show that I was just raised correctly. But do a flip. What do I think by saying that? Oh gosh. Nene, I would not be able to flip him. Plus, I would hurt myself by trying to flip in here. Plus, I am not even in that condition to be in that state. Like, I feel like the last time I ever learned flipping was probably years ago. I'm 20 years old, but yeah, but yeah, like for example, in high school, anytime I would hear of something anywhere, it would make me crazy. Like, it would actually drive me nuts, though. Just because of, because I was raised correctly enough to not swear, but also, I never wanted to extremely not use extreme cuss words. And the only words I would really just use that are safe terms for me are freak, heck, and that's it. Like, what the heck are you doing? You know, it's nothing like bold statement. Like, if I were going way opposite, it would just be all idiots on that end. But, like, for example, um, and even y'all, even one thing, even I think what's kind of crazy in my opinion is knowing that, um, I think something that still makes me crazy to this day is that, um, the original name for the name for original name for a donkey was called an asset at first, but then y'all, people have the freaking ability to shorten that to the freaking A word that people use to this day. I think that is just like the dumbest thing ever. That people were like, "Oh, we're gonna make this into a cuss word to people start to use and they form it, and then it's just gonna populate." It's crazy because even that was one of the things even I learned in general was because that was the full termination for a donkey was an asset, but then they shortened it to A. But also, but then they also it's still stupid, but then also with a male donkey being called a jack, but then they add the other part of it too. I think, even though it's the name of a person, but at the same time, I really don't know why people just were like, you know what? We're gonna put these two things together, but also use each of the half just separate and make it bad terminology. In my 20 years I've lived, it's probably the craziest and dumbest thing ever, honestly. And so, um, yeah, it's wild, but um, yeah, it's crazy. Exactly. And all the things. Yep. So you're calm until someone pushes it. I can see the guest. I can see that guess. Some people just never realize they're the one testing your exactly. Yes, but yeah, because there's gonna be people out there that they they will try to test your limits until you cannot. Cause okay, some people a few parts of me be fine because I'm like, you know what, I'll give it a little bit and see if you try to calm down any less. But if you try to flip the dang script at me, that is a whole different situation. yeah, like first off, I don't mess around. I really don't. Um, like for example, if like I can give an example here. Like let's say if somebody were like let's say if someone was just being rude towards um my boyfriend or even toward any of my friends with me, mm, especially when it comes to my boyfriend, I will not be messing around. And also y'all us short people, I will say this. When we're short too, that also makes it crazier because the way we can act as well back, because if someone's trying to tell somebody something pretty stupid, but they are really trying to offend you for it, it's like, hey, I can't control that. I get pretty sensitive when someone either says these things at me, or I hear someone say something towards somebody, or I see certain things so different than others can't. You know, it's crazy when it comes to a bunch of it. And I mean, even as an adult, it's the same way too, because, us adults see so many things that are so different comparing to younger people and all that. Um, but yeah, it's one of those. But yeah, like for example, I can, and even that's Libras too. Like we keep it cool. Like Libras will keep the peace together until somebody can get somebody can just try to test you like crazy. And then that's when we start to flip the switch like that. Like we start flipping that switch quickly when someone just gets us to where it's like, okay, first of all, I am done messing around with you because you keep saying this and I'm not, because let's say someone's trying to start an argument over something stupid and they keep going it back with you. And it's like, okay, argue with that person back to back on things, and it's like until you cannot, until it's basically until you cannot handle it. Like if let's say if me and a friend were just talking about something and I was about to be breaking off off limits, again, that's when like with me, that's when you'll know when someone when someone tries to say something, then but yeah, like I said, I'm not always easily offended right away, but also if someone just keeps doing stuff at you constantly, that's a different story. If, like I said, if let's say if somebody were talking crap about either a friend of mine or my boyfriend, and either behind their back or what, or if I were around my boyfriend and someone approaches him and I'm having to counter what they're saying about him, being like, hey, they're trying to act like a jerk. Like they're trying to make fun of him for the stupidest thing. And anytime someone will come, I feel like will that ever does come at him for any stupid reason that will make me crazy, oh, my instincts will be turned up quickly because I'm like I said, I'm someone who's not gonna mess around. Like I don't I don't play around, honestly. So the times that I do get really irritated, that's because someone's being crazy or I had enough of it. And I drop my guard down immediately. Cause but yeah, like if someone were talking smack about my boyfriend or anything, I will be literally like person you can chill because first of all, my boyfriend is truly amazing. What the heck has he done to you? Nothing. So literally end the story. Or if someone were talking about any of my friends behind my back, it's the same thing, but towards them. Because I literally would be like, hey, first of all, chill the heck out. But I mean, not that part, but literally, I would be telling this person, I would be like, first off, my best friend is amazing. She can do anything she sets her mind to. And for the amount of years I have been friends with her, I know her well enough that she doesn't do what you think you're saying she does or thinks or way she does stuff. I don't care how this, and that go, you know? And so, yeah, like I said, I don't mess around and all the things. But, um, yes, that's a little example right there. My mindset and how it works for people and all that. Exactly. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I will not mess around. Yeah, exactly. Like first of all, I will say it. Like I will say it like at a like for example, I will say stuff not to a point where I'm causing a scene, but a good enough point where it's just me and then the other person behind the scene, and that's it. But then, you know, it's, like I said, I don't fool around ever. So like there's usually especially in the future, there's not gonna be a time where if someone really makes me crazy, like I said, it goes to a different level, but not to where I'm like calling a scene. AK, I'm not playing Karen in instance. I am just doing what I do, but also like if anyone were talking about my friends or my boyfriend or my family as well, different the way I'll react to those. Oh, cause y'all, when people talk about your friends, your loved ones, or your family behind your back, or just to your face, or something about them, oh, those are the people you do not want to be like. Okay, I'll keep it low here, but the moment someone will bring up probably the worst things they can, again, that's when the gear starts to turn. But like I said, not to where I'm causing a scene, but a calm enough middle where I'm like, hey, if I were you, I would not try to talk to my friends or family this way. Because I, I have, and I'll say this, I have lived long enough to understand people. Even though I may have a little bit of a learning disability, that does not mean that because the thing is, people who are disabled don't have to be in wheelchairs. Be, you don't have to be handicapped or anything. Some disabilities are, um, like some disabilities are abilities that you can't really see without getting to know somebody. Like, first of all, no one can't tell I'm an epileptic because there's no way to indicate it because epileptic people who are epileptics you can't tell unless if they have a seizure. You'd be like, hey, do you have this condition or just the things you get to know that person, then they'll tell you that they are in fact an epileptic. Then you'll be like, oh, that's crazy. I'm sorry to hear that, you know? It's like you really like you can't really there's certain medical issues you can't identify off bat. They're like, oh, I know that this person has this because of structure. Now, with me, you can't tell I'm an epileptic because hey, people with epilepsy, the thing is they don't give off. And plus, you can like with me, you would never think I have epilepsy in the first place because, I look like just like a normal human being that is just living, right? Until I bring my story up. Then you'd be like, oh, wow. Never, and I never knew this about you. Not like a bad way, but in like a shock way, you know? And it's also good to spread awareness because you never know what someone's going through or if they had the same condition or if they know somebody with the condition that thinks that they're the only person that really can get it, you know? And so, um, yeah, it's crazy. Okay, I respect that, but you don't strike me as someone who'd stand next to anything less than a man who can actually handle you. Exactly. Because, first of all, if you're dating a man who, if he can handle you, even when you get mad about something, even if it's not his fault, different story. But yeah, like if I were like I said, I'd like visual look like I said, if they were talking smack about him, like I said, I'm not messing around. No one should be messing around. But also, like I said, right now like for example, for a little bit, I'll keep it. I will keep it. I'll keep the piece together because that's Libras. Because we'll keep the piece together until it gets to until they push the limits far behind, like way far out, to where it will make me lose it. But not like I said, not like and like I said, I don't make a scene out of it. Like I don't make me sound like a Karen trying to get the manager involved. But it will, and like I said, for me it takes a little bit just to tell if I'm gonna have to lose my own sensibility or not. But like I said, if they were talking if someone were just being mean about anybody to me, or if they're like, hey, why, or if someone were to make fun of like my disability or part of it, or try to make fun because I learn a lot slower than most people, because I mean, that's one that is one thing about me is I also have a learning disability on top of my epilepsy. Um, but that's because after my brain surgery, the way I learned how to do stuff. I mean, me and my wife are very similar because I mean we both learn almost the exact same way. Like um we both kind of take a second to try to understand something, whether if it's reading certain things or understanding pieces of information that's given to us, or trying to find methods to remember stuff, like, or even you can't always or you always can't um do certain things without having something in front of you or having a reference. Like, for example, back in school when I would be in like either art class or I mean I loved art all years, although I'll say it's like my favorite class out of the year. Like, for example, whether if I was in art class or English, any class really, and we're doing a project or something, um, I I will tell you this though, y'all. I remember when I was in English my senior year. I mean, kind of. I think even through um my sophomore year, I I'll tell you, but also really I've noticed it more in my senior year where whenever our teacher gets done explaining our assignment we're doing and we're trying to get it done by, and when our teacher is like, does anyone have any questions before y'all get started? Y'all, the room I was in, that we were in that year, I, even me generally, I don't always, like, I would find myself not looking awkward, but just, I would just find myself just, ugh. One of my examples was, there's gonna be a couple times where, like, back in school, um, and like I said, we're discussing a project slash assignment, all the things, and literally when literally our teacher's like, does anyone have any questions before you start doing what you're supposed to do? And let's say, and for example, I listen thoroughly, but then I'll forget instantly. But then when that last part happens, y'all, I there's with me, I don't know, I always felt awkward at times raising my hand occasionally. So a lot of times what I would just do is I would just go up and get help because, I just, for me, it felt a lot less awkward, you know? Especially for me, because, like, the way I learn stuff, and plus, the way I learn things is, like, I'm, I can probably say I'm more like a visual learner. Like, I like to have things, like, either if you were able to show it through, like, for example, like, let's say we were reading a book on something, or if we were doing something where there could be an example of it, I'd be like, hey, can you show me what this thing looks like, or what is it supposed to look like? So this way it gives me, um, that way it does give me a little bit of an idea of what it, what I should be doing to make it, so this way I can try my very best to make it look close enough to the example picture. Cause y'all, I don't, and even y'all, even though I got good grades in school all year, that does not mean how I learned a bunch was gonna do a lot of it. But, um, yeah. Anyway, but yeah. Anyway, that's just what's happening though. But yeah, you still carrying yourself the way you do? Oh, thanks. Yeah, cause I mean, like I said, there's not that many people that can do what I do a lot. You know. Let me make sure I'm missing those response. That's real. I respect you for even saying that. Of course. I respect that you straight me. Let's do Okay, there you go. I was trying to make sure I was caught up there, right? But yeah, because I mean, like I said, we all learn at different, like, yo, we all learn at a different pace. So, like, for example, me and my boyfriend and I both are very, like, we're both a little more slower. Like, for example, if we're trying to, I mean, for example, most of the time I can get like assignments done most of the time by the deadline, but there's points during while we're still working on it for like the both of us. We're both like we both are like pretty slow paced, unlike everyone else. Like with me especially, it's like the way my brain goes to understand it, it's like, okay, how do I understand this without literally trying to lose my mind? Or how do I understand this to my ability? Because, I don't want to be someone who acts like I don't know what I'm doing and make myself look like a dang fool out of myself. But if it's to where, or if it's like, okay, if I ask about this just to clarify something, just to make sure I'm not reading something wrong, then we should be good, you know? And so, yeah, I mean, I'm like I said, it's not bad. It's not really a bad thing to learn slow pace, but still. But like I said, we both are. I mean, we're both like. I mean, we're both slow. We're both kind of. I mean, the both of us, we're both pretty slow learners, but also after we get it, maybe after a couple times, we'll be able to pick it up from there. You know, like, like we're not like directly fast learners until we get it. After a couple of times of it getting repeated to us, just to after getting like certain that way, after just being like, hey, what are methods to remember this? Stuff like that. It would just be you need for but but also it would go for really any like subject, honestly. And so, um, and even like even these days too, like me trying to learn how certain things work or how do you do stuff, Like for example, when I get a job eventually, I mean I've been getting help through it though, which is the best part about it, is me learning to understand concepts of jobs and how to handle situations or how to um do certain tasks around that job without trying to get overstimulated to yourself, you know. But anyway, I'm about to get offline pretty soon, but a big shout out to a lot of you who've came in here today. Um, but the next day I will be on live is on Tuesday next, so I'll see you guys on Tuesday or possibly Wednesday, but mainly Tuesday. I'll try my best to be on Tuesday, but I'll see you guys out and about.